Hi, and welcome to your TxRvAdventures instruction video. I'm Brittany, and behind the camera I have Lauren today. Today we're going to take a look at our 2020 model that is a Fleetwood Discovery that we call Poppy. We're going to go over the inside and outside features, and if you have any questions during the video, write them down and ask us at pickup, as well as refer back to this video while out on your trip. The first thing that we like to do when we get set up at a campground is go to the under storage compartments, hook up our electrical, sewer, and water first. Once you slide out, it makes it a little bit more difficult to reach these areas. In the back of the bus, we have our batteries. Next compartment, we have batteries, and we have our DEF. This is for the emissions of the vehicle. This is going to come to you full, and we do have a spare box in the storage. This compartment here is going to be for your sewer, your water, and your electric. These all have a really nice pull-out reel, and then they go right back in. So I'm going to show you here. I'm going to pull it out a little bit. This is 50 amps. If you need any sort of step-down adapters, please just let us know. When you get to your campground, make sure that the breaker at the post is in the off position. And then when you plug everything in, make sure that all of your appliances on the inside are in the off position. Once you plug this in, turn the breaker on, and then you can go ahead and turn everything back on inside. Before you leave the RV park and you want to unplug this, make sure all your appliances, again, in the off position. We want those ACs off before you unplug this. This is a 3 AC unit, so we do need to have 50 amps to power everything. So if you do step down, just know that you're only going to be able to power about one air conditioning on this RV. So when you're booking your campground spaces, be sure to book 50 amps. The next is the reel for your fresh water hose. Okay, and you just take this cap off here. It has an inline water filter, and these both go down just like that. Okay, and this will get connected to the RV park, okay, just like this. Next, we're going to go over sewer and the gravity fill for the fresh water. So the water that's right here, this one, is going to just use what you need as you're hooked up. But if you want to fill the holding tank for in travel, you need to use the hose that's in the other compartment and put it into here. So there's going to be a hose in the next compartment that we're going to want to put into here. Go ahead and fill this up. This will be filled when it comes to you. This is a 100-gallon freshwater holding tank. On the outside, before we do the sewer, I'm just going to show you here, we have some outlets. And then we have our cable for the park connection. So if you wanted to bring a coax cable, you could hook that up. But this RV does have dish, so we've got all of those channels inside already. Next is going to be your sewer. So right here you have your sewer connections, and then the hose is in the next compartment over. I'll try to take this cover off for you. So there's going to be a twist on it. Make sure this is on in travel. You don't want any like road debris to be kicked up into the bay. But you're going to bring your hose through here. Take this cap off and give it a quarter of a turn, locking on the sewer hose. The gray is for your sink and shower, and the black is for the toilet. So these are both gauges that are read on the inside of the RV. When you get hooked up, you can leave your gray in the open position, which is pulled all the way out. This will allow all of the water from your sinks, showers, dishwasher, and the laundry machine. So all that water will just drain straight out, never backing up. When the black shows full, close the gray, go ahead and release the black, and this will all just gravity dump out. Closing this back up. Once you close this black handle, you can then go ahead and open the gray again and start using this again. We like to put a little bit of soap and water back into this tank once we've closed it, And we'll go over that on the inside of the RV, basically just putting your foot on the pedal for about, a minute, maybe 5 gallons worth of water with some standard dish soap, putting a little bit of water back into this tank while you're moving to your next site. It'll help keep these sensors clean. When you return it back to us, make sure both tanks have been dumped, that these are closed. We want everything closed and dumped when we return it back to the RV. Starting on the driver's side, in these compartments, we have your extra generator oil and extra def. This also has the compartment for your windshield wiper fluid, as well as some of your breakers to the main cab. Just below is really warm right now because I do have the generator running, so this is the exhaust pipe to the generator. You can fill fuel on either side of the motorhome, so you have a fuel here as well on the other side that I have open, and I'll show you what that looks like. This is diesel only. Okay, so the def is put at the back of the coach and the diesel is right here, and those can be filled up with guns at like a truck stop. It's the best place to fill these up, and this is one shared fuel tank. This is your aqua hot system. Inside here we have our sewer hose supports and that extra water. So this is the extra water hose if you want to fill your holding tank. And these do have levers that allow you to pull them out. So if you have something heavy in here. Again, these septic supports just go like this and go underneath the hose. The next compartment has another pull out as well on both sides. Inside the plastic bag is where your sewer hose is going to be kept. Again, your wet bay and all of your electrical. These do have nice lights on the side so that if you get somewhere at night, you will have lighting so you'll be able to see. Your def compartment. Coming around to the back, we're going to go over the height and the length of this RV. It's 41.5 feet long and 12.5, I would say 13 feet high. So give yourself a little bit of wiggle room. And 10,000 pounds is the tow capacity on this 2-inch receiver. So this is your standard 2-inch here. We do allow towing. There is a fee to tow, but just let us know and we can unlock this for you. We do rent bike racks as well as golf carts. You have a backup camera up top and right and left turn signal cameras. To the back right here, this is going to be the exhaust for your aqua hot. So you may notice that sometimes this will give you a little bit of black smoke. It is burning. So this is going to be very hot when your hot water heater is in the on position. We ask that you don't get up on the roof. There is nothing up there but the 3 air conditionings. Sometimes you'll notice in the heat of the summer that you'll get a little bit of condensation dripping. Okay, that's normal. It's just going to be wherever the lowest point of the RV is. At the back of the coach, we have our engine, and this is where we're going to ask you to come back here and check if you have a really long trip. This is where the coolant is going to be. We do provide extra coolant in the storage. Our team will go over the oils, the coolant, and all of this will be done during our pre-check. We ask that you don't get up on the roof. We do have a ladder in the storage. This is for maintenance on the 3 ACs of this RV, and during the hottest part of the summer, you will notice some condensation that drips down. This is from the air conditioning units, and that's totally normal. This is a beautiful gel coat paint, and we love it, but we ask that you swing very wide. The most damage that we see to our motorhomes is at the back of the bus. So right here is where we see it at gas stations. So typically we would say fill up at any truck stop. That's the best place for it. Tree scratches as well in your neighborhood. Tree scratches are something that scratch the sides of these up at the top. So kind of stay in the middle of the lane and try to avoid tree scratches if you can. We've got some storage compartments. I'm going to start opening up a few here. In this first compartment, we've got our transfer switch, we've got our solar connections, And really there's nothing down in here. This is for your battery control center. So nothing to mess with inside this compartment. Towards the back of the bus, we have our main off and on for the inverter. So this is what powers the refrigerator and the televisions while in travel. If you're not going to be using the generator or plugged into 50 amps, this is going to power those appliances for you. And there is a power like reset off and on to the side right here. So if you're having any issues, just give us a call. We can go over how to use it. Turning it off and on is done on the inside of the bus. This would just be for like a reset. In the very back of the bus right here, this is just your hydraulic jack fluid. We are going to top all of that off before pickup. This is where your coolant is going to be stored. And then the ladder for the top of the roof. Again, both of these storages do slide out towards you on either side. So I'm not going to do it, but this one will pull out towards you so you have a really heavy cooler. On the outside, this is our TV, right? So this is beautiful. This is great to have for tailgating, and your DirecTV dish will play on this TV. Coming to the back here, you've got all of your connections. If you wanted to bring any PlayStations, Fire Sticks, all of that would get connected at the back. And then it does have a sound bar that connects to the television. All of our RVs do come with camping chairs. This unit sleeps 8 and will come with 8 camp chairs. We also rent barbecue grills as well that we can put in our storage compartments. The purple key that's on your key ring is for opening both sides of the diesel tank. And this is one shared fuel tank. So whatever side you're filling on, it's always going to be the 100 gallons. Okay, so this is just a Y going in. This is going to be for your aqua hot system. It's going to be for the engine as well as the generator. Next, we're going to go over the awning. There is a remote that's going to be located inside the storage compartment, just inside the door, and it's going to have how you bring the awnings in and out, as well as the light strip on the awnings. If it's really windy, late at night when you're going to bed, or you're not with the motorhome, please be sure to bring these back in. They do have wind sensors, but we always like to be really careful bringing them back in. So I'm just going to press the button, bringing them back in. You do have another awning just over the door, and that one is controlled by a different switch inside the RV. Next, we're going to go over tires. While these are going in, we're going to look at these tires. There are sensors that will read on the dash of the RV that will tell you what the pressures are in real time, and it will warn you if they're getting too high or too low. The steps on this motorhome, I do have them in the locked out position right now. And that way when I open and I close the doors, these will stay locked out, okay? So we want them to stay locked out so kids can get in and out really fast. But anytime I turn that engine on, these will automatically come back in and they will store. All of our RVs do have easy tags. And these are good for anywhere in the state of Texas. If you go outside of Texas, please pay these tolls separately. The generator is just underneath the dash, and right now we do have it on. There will be a separate video to go over how to use your generator. Right now, we're just going to go over how to unlock the hood latch next. When you're ready to check the oils of the generator, you're going to go to the center and release the hood latch and the pin. And this will unlock it, allowing us to slide the generator out for service. Your diesel generator is located just underneath the hood, and we've got some features here. We've got a start-stop button, as well as you can start and stop this from the dash, as well as in the hallway on the main control panel. We've got our time clock here that tells you how many hours are being used. We'll read this at pickup and again at drop off. Lets us know how many hours you've been running the generator. So you can come out here and take a look. Next, we've got our oil and our coolant levels. We do check these before you leave, and we provide extra oil for you as well if you're on a longer trip. They will shut off if you do have low oil levels. The next big one here is the breaker. So if this generator does kick on, but you're not having any power being produced to your televisions or your air conditioning units, likely this breaker has tripped. And what makes this breaker trip is if you stop the generator with the appliances still on, and the next time you go to start this generator, it'll have too much of a load on it, and it'll trip it. So you want to come back out here and put it back on. So again, remember turning all of the major appliances off, then stopping the generator, or turning all the appliances off before you unplug the coach. Very important. Now that we've gone over how to set up the outside, we're going to go over the driving cab area first before sliding and setting up the back of the coach. So to start these do need to have, these are keyless, right? So you just push on it, but you want to put it into auxiliary first and just kind of press and hold. And then turn over. I've already helped mine for a little bit, but this gives the glow plugs time to warm up before starting over the engine. Up on the dash, you've got a couple things. It'll show you that your parking brake is engaged. It'll show you your speed, your trip, and then you've got, I'm going to zoom in here just a little bit. There we go. And you can see your fuel level, your airbags, the RPMs, the odometer, and then right here, the one that looks like a little cloud, this is your DEF level. So you can read the DEF level on the gauge outside or right here on the dash. You've got a second set of airbags right here. To the left of the steering wheel, we've got our shade, which this is the day shade and the night shade, and this is going to be dropping down these front shades here for privacy at night, or just the day shade for when you are driving, and this is going to be for putting it down when you have a lot of sun. You have docking lights. These are for if you get somewhere really late at night, put these on and you can hook everything up. You've got heated mirrors and then the mirror adjustments. Turning your lights on. Just below us here, we have our airbag suspension ride. So right now it's on low because I have my jacks down. So anytime that you are driving, go ahead and flip this switch right here, flip it over and into auto, and it will adjust the air automatically. When you get stopped and you want to drop those jacks, put it down into low, and that'll let all the air out of these bags so that it'll get as low to the ground as possible before you put the jacks down. On the steering wheel here, we have the pedal adjustments. This is to change the height of the pedals. Just below that, there's the third pedal here. So you've got the driving ones, and then you've got this little pedal on the side. And this is for adjusting the steering wheel, and it can go up and down, or it can pull out towards you. Couple things on the wheel here. We do have cruise control. Okay, so you can set all your cruise control here. You can use your voice to talk, and then just toggling through the main home screen here. You've got two toggles on each side. You have one, and to the left side, kind of hard to see here, but to the left, You've got your windshield wiper blades and the blade adjustment. So the speed here. And then on this side, we have our shifter. So we're gonna go over how to put this in park as well as how to put it in drive. So once the engine is on and you want to start driving the coach, you are going to make sure that you have your foot on the brake here. And of course, we're in neutral because there is no park. There is only parking brake. So you pull it out towards you to apply the brake and set it. When you want to start driving, you're going to put your foot on the brake pedal and push this in to release all the air out of this brake. And then you're going to shift it right here on this into drive or into reverse. Okay. And then you've got manual and all of these things for shifting. So, whenever you want to stop the bus, okay, make sure that you set this parking brake and make sure that the bus is always in neutral whenever you do that. Okay, then you can take your foot off the brake. And while the coach is on like this is how you're going to need to be in this driving position like this, like in the neutral with the engine still on, for dropping the jacks as well as sliding out the bus. Next, we're going to go over right here. We've got the radio system. So you've got the home button here, and you can toggle through the music, the radio. You've got some of your main settings here going through. And then I'm going to go through here, click camera. And if you want to, you can view the camera from here or on the right. That always stays on, but this is just a little bigger. So if you want to watch your tow vehicle or golf carts, bike racks, things like that, go to home. There is navigation on this. It takes a second here to load. There we go. So it does know where we are. This is our address here, and so it knows exactly where you are. And then to go back to the home screen, you've got Bluetooth, talking on your phone, things like that. I'm going to open these up. Underneath here, I had it open a minute ago. There we go. So you've got the jack in, the auxiliary jack in, and then you've got a USB here for the radio. Right here we have our camera system, and this will display the right and the left turn signal cameras. Like right now I am toggling back and forth. Okay, so you can take a view on each one of those. All right, and then right back to the rear camera. More outlets here, and then this is the dash air conditioning. This is only going to be for the front of the bus. This will never be for the back of the bus. So whenever you want AC just for this dash area, this is what you'll use. And then when you want to have air conditioning in the rear of the bus, you're going to need to start up that generator so you can power the 3 ACs on this RV. You've got utility lights down below, and this is for outside when you're hooking up. Auxiliary start. This is if you leave something on, like the lights maybe, to the coach, and you kill the front batteries and you need to jump yourself off the back batteries. These are internal jumper cables. This is the starting and the stopping of the generator. Right now the green light's on. That means we have the generator running right now, so I'm not going to stop it. But in order to start it, press and hold this button down for about 50 seconds to a minute or so, 30 seconds. I mean, it's going to take, depending on when was the last time you started it, could take anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. So just press and hold. It'll start flashing, and then it'll go solid when it started. Then you can go on into the back and start up the air conditionings. You've got your radio off and on. So this is when you're in park, and this is when you're in travel. Okay, so when you're stopped and you want to still have the radio, just flip it into park mode and the radio will come on using the battery. Locking and unlocking the door to the right over here. This is your main entrance door, locking and unlocking. Up top, the last thing we have on the dash, this is going to be connected with, on the very top, there we go. Okay, so right there where that mobile eye is, That is watching the road as you drive, and it's telling you, are you between the lanes? Okay, so this is really nice. This is like almost like assisted driving, where it kind of helps. It's smart driving, if you will. And it'll tell you if you're getting too close to another car, or let's just say, hey, you veer out of the lanes just a little bit, and it'll go beep, 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 and remind you to kind of center yourself in the lane. So if it is really windy, you'll need to, this could go off quite a bit because you're kind of being pushed a little bit. You can turn the volume on it down, but this is just to help you with your lane assist and keeping that you're a safe distance from everyone. And then the last thing here, we've got our emergency lights, so that way you know where those are. Just inside the door, we have our fire extinguisher here. To the right of the passenger seat, you've got some lights here when you first enter into the bus. You've got your exterior lights. This is for the luggage down below. Your awning lights, and then some of the quick access lights here in the kitchen. We do have the porch light. This is on the very outside of the coach by the door. You have under coach lighting. You can also lock all of the steps out. So there's a step just below here, and we like to lock this out, and that way whenever the door opens and closes, when kids are going in and out really fast, the steps you don't have to wait on the steps. So these will stay locked out until the engine comes on, and then they'll kick themselves right back in. You've got the all off and on. So right now I have lights on. You can turn them all off before you leave the coach, and then when you enter, just turn them all right back on. You've got your main power off and on. So if somebody hits these, you'll have no power into the coach. Just make sure that you come back over here and click them on. You've got a step cover. That's for just below us right here, and that's where the steps are. At night, you can put these on so nobody trips going down these stairs, little kids or pets. Or when you're driving, this allows to have a nice floor underneath the passenger. They have outlets here as well. And then, like I said, fire extinguisher, we have smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors in the coach. Both of the front captain's chairs can swivel around to give you more seating in the living room area. This is located on the outside. So on both of them, they're going to be located on the side closest to the window. And it's a lever that lifts up and then twists. And then you've got the seat reclining front to back. On the other side right here, we've got some of the adjustments, front to back, tilting, and up and down. And then this one, only on the passenger seat do you have where you can allow the kick out. So this can be done while you're driving. You can have this up, or when you're sitting in the living room area. On both seats, we do have a heated seat button. So you've got just one, which is the bottom, and then flipping it up is the two, which is the front and the back. This feature is only available when you have the engine on, so when you're driving. And they're really easy to turn right back around whenever you're ready to start driving again. Next, we're going to go over how to drop our jacks and slide out the RV. I do have the engine on right now and my parking brake set. Since we are already set up and filming right now, our jacks are in the down position. So we have a green light here flashing that says, yes, we do have good level, but I'm going to show you what you would do just by showing you, not actually pressing them. So this is your jacks panel. You're going to press the panel in the on position. It'll tell you to wait until it's talking to the jacks and the hydraulics. Once this stops flashing, and right now it says mine are down, when you want to drop them, press and hold auto for 3 seconds and they will ground and level themselves. It's important to stay very still while you're doing this. This needs to be done before sliding out of any kind. Once you are completely level and they are down, you will show this green flashing here. Then you know you're safe to go ahead and slide out both of the slides. When you want to leave, Make sure both of your slides are retracted. Once they're in, you can press and hold all retract for about 3 to 4 seconds, and then you'll hear them lift up. Once that happens, it will no longer say jacks down. Always visibly check outside that the jacks are in the stored and traveled position, and then turn the panel off when you're finished. Before I slide out, I'm going to show you some other little quick things here. So we've got, this is for the door awning in and out. This is from the outside video we did at the beginning of this. This is for your big awnings outside and the lights to those. So again, this just comes off and it sticks inside this cabinet. The first in and out here is for the slide out in the kitchen. So by pressing it in, it's going to move in, and press and hold on these buttons until you hear them all the way reach the wall. Last on this panel is the full wall slide right here, and it does have travel safety locks, and it will let you know by 2 red dots here that it is in the locked position. So I'm going to press and hold extend, and you'll see these travel safety locks will very slowly start to release. Okay, it takes time. Press and hold. They'll store themselves, and then the slide will start moving. So we're going to show you this sliding out, and then we're going to go ahead and bring it back in just so you can see how the sensors will lock. And this is a very large slide. It'll dip down just a little bit, press and hold until it reaches the wall. Then when you want to bring it back in, again, engine needs to still be on. I'm pressing and holding retract. It's important that no one sits on these slide outs while this is happening. And then as it comes in here, I'm just going to keep holding. If I take my finger off at any point, it will stop. All right, and then you'll see those travel safety locks will start to move. And once they touch the wall, it's hitting the sensor. So my front lock is engaged and my back lock is now engaged. Once you've done this, you can go ahead, lift your jacks up, and start driving. The main control panel is located on the living room wall about midway down the coach. If you press the home button, it will bring you to this screen. It'll give you some of the quick features telling you how much water is in the coach, your black and the gray tank levels are here. Turning off and on your water pump. The water pump is used when you're in travel or boondocking if you want to use those 100 gallons of fresh water in your holding tank. Tells you what your air conditionings are set at. So right now this tells you the temp in the coach, and then it tells you which zones are on. So right now we have 2 zones on and we have the air conditioning on. You've got turning on your hot water heater using the diesel, or if you're on electric, so just select one. Starting and stopping the generator can be done in multiple places. It can be done outside, on the dash, on this main wall, in the bedroom. So it's all turning on the same generator, right? But just where you're at and where it's convenient for you to turn it on. And this tells you your hours. So we're going to read these hours when you pick up the RV, and again when you drop it back off. And this is a way for you to monitor how much you've used. Your battery levels. You've got locking and unlocking the steps. And then these are the quick lights. These are the living rooms and the main ones. And then the master all off and all back on. You've got your electrical here. So you've got turning off and on your inverter. And it tells you how much battery you've been using, as well as turning off and on your block heater. So the block heater can be turned on the night before. If you're in really cold weather, this can be turned on to keep it warm. And then before you start the engine, make sure this is in the off position. The little light bulb here controls all your lights. Any one of them, so these are all porch lights, under coach. This is all outside stuff, main, and then the rear of the bus. Anyone that has an arrow, you can press and hold, and it will dim that location. So just press and hold, and it'll go up. Or if you keep holding, it'll go right back down. The thermostat adjustment. So right now we have it on cool and the fan is on auto. Clicking this gets it to go up or down. Please be sure to turn these like this. So I'll turn this one off. Be sure to turn it just like this in the off position before you stop the generator or when you're about to unplug this bus. We want to make sure we turn everything in the off position. We don't want to unplug them and the compressors to just turn off really fast. We want them to come down naturally. So we have got the Aqua Hot here. This is for the furnace. Okay, and you've got a heat pump on this side. So some of them have a heat pump. This is for anything like, you know, in the 50s, I would say. So without using too much of your resources, this is going to be using electric. Okay, and then you've got floor heat. So this is really cool. So at the bottom here, you've got front and rear, and you can turn your floor heat off and on. All right, and then this is another place where you can turn on your hot water. Kick this back on. These are for your fans in the living room and the bathroom, and then just some of your settings. Next, we're going to go over some of the sleeping spaces in the living room. So just above me, we do have a bed that will come down, and you'll want to make sure that these seats are slightly reclined a little bit. And then on our keys, we have a very small key, and put it into the on position, making sure the engine is off. This will not work when the engine's on. Press and hold. And it'll drop this bed down. They will have their own TV and lights here. There is a privacy curtain to give this person a little bit of extra space on their own. And then the ladder is stored in the closet in the back. Before you're about to leave and you're going to drive away, make sure that these seats are pushed really far forward, because we want to make sure that the slide doesn't rub on the leather on either side. So make sure when you're done swiveling them around that you lift them up and put them back. This does become another sleeping space, and the cushion for this is in the back closet as well. And I'm going to have Lauren show you here just where the handles are that you'll adjust it. So just underneath right here, we have some adjustment, and then this will slide down and give you maybe one adult or two small children can sleep here. And there are 3 seat belts that are on this dinette. This is all empty storage, and then we've got our lights up top. Okay, and then we've got our recliners here. These aren't sleeping spaces, but I am going to show you how to use them. So the cup holders do have little lights on them. And then just press and hold like this. And they come pretty far out. So it's nice for the TV. You could take a nap there. All right, while this is going up and down, inside here we also have the remotes for all of the televisions. This is where they're going to be when you pick it up. There is a lot of privacy in here. So again, there's the curtain there, there's the doors in the back, but the windows do pull down. So these all have blinds on them, and just give them a pull like this, and then you'll have the privacy, and then pull them back up, and then they'll come right back up. In the kitchen area. So I'm going to start here with this guy on the end. The refrigerator, right now I'm running the generator, so the fridge is running on the generator. When I turn the generator off and I have no power on this coach at all, this will run on the inverter. Again, the inverter is using your battery, so you want to make sure that you don't run it down. It will only last about 5 to 6 hours on the inverter. So if you're going to be at your house overnight, you may want to turn the fridge in the off position, and then the morning of, when you're about to leave, turn it back on. Give it about 1 hour to get totally cool, then you can fill it back up again. But this is going to be cold when you pick it up from us. There are travel safety locks here. And this is a really, really big residential fridge. And then down below, lots of storage. Okay. And then you just need to make sure that these line up and that you lock them, and you'll get a little red right there. And that means these doors won't swing open. You have the water and then the ice maker. Going down into the kitchen, this is your microwave and convection oven. So when you're using this as the oven, take this glass and take it out. You'll use this. There is a light on it as well, so like it gives you the under cabinet lighting, which we like. Just below, we have the induction cooktop, and I'm going to take these off. This is nice to have these because it gives you a lot of prep space, but you can store these underneath the sink. And this is an induction cooktop. We do provide the pots and pans for it. And what needs to happen when you're using these is the pot. I'm going to grab a pot out of the cabinet real quick and just show you what they look like. So it's going to look like this, and it has some magnets on it. And these are the only pots that you can use on these. So it has to line up perfectly with that circle. Okay. And then once I start adjusting the temperature, I can turn it up. But it'll know, like you can hear it right now. It's starting to click on, and it's going. And then the moment I take it away, it'll start flashing and it'll stop. Okay, so it knows when there is the pot on and when it's not. So it'll give you that little error symbol like that. It boils water in about 30 seconds. We do provide all the pots and pans as well as all the kitchen items and coffee maker. We're going to show you some of these items in here. So coffee maker, toaster, cleaning supplies, all of your utensils. Then just below you've got the dishwasher, and we do have the soap for that. Remember, when you are using the dishwasher, that you need to have the gray valve in the open position, or just make sure you don't have a lot of water in that gray tank when you try to run this, because this will drain into your gray. Up top is where we have all the plates, bowls, and cups. And then you have a 2-compartment sink. Again, these can be stored underneath the sink as well. And then you have a small island, which is really cute. Just press this button, gives you a little bit more space in here. A couple of drawers, and then some pull-out pantry space. Press this little button, and that makes it go right back in. Next, we're going to go over our television and some of the features that are around right here. So we've got just below it, we have a fireplace. This is all electric. This can be turned on just for show, which is kind of fun, or you can adjust the temperature. So all the gauges are the top right here. And then if you want to turn it off or on a timer, all of that's here. And then the power button is on the left. You've got a Bose sound system, and there is a remote for this radio, as well as this will play the TV sound. We're going to show you how to turn on the digital antenna on the roof and scan for local channels. So I'm going to be using the LG remote. What you want to do is go to the home button and scroll all the way over until you get to your settings. Okay, once you're in the settings, go all the way down to more settings at the very bottom. Okay, once we're in this, you can control the sound, picture quality, all of that, but we want to go down to channels and select channel tuning. Select OK. And then it'll prompt you auto tune. You say yes by OK, and then press start. This needs to happen every new city that you go to. If you want to get their local news channels, you'll need to do this. So this could take a minute or two, and it'll scan and it'll tell you how many channels it picks up. There is DirecTV Dish on this, as well as there is a DVD player. So while it's doing this scan, I'm just going to show you inside here where it's located. Right now, we've already picked up 19 channels. So You're going to give this TV a pull. There are 2 latches here, and just behind here we've got the Wally remote for the dish, your DVD player, and then this is your matrix box. These can be changed to the settings, and if you have any issues with getting DirecTV dish or anything like that, just call us and we'll put you back in this direction here in behind the TV. And all of these need to be on zone B, so input B to get your dish. And then you can hook up other things back here as well. So if you want a PlayStation back here, or anything else, that can all be plugged into here as well. And there's some USB to the back of the TV. If you open it, make sure that you give it a firm push back in. You want to make sure this is fully locked. But it's nice to put your PlayStation back there and have it hidden and it's not taking up any of your counter space. You've got some USBs and a lot of plugs right here. So this is a lot. It's nice. We've already picked up 60 channels while we're scanning, but while we're continuing to scan, we're going to talk about the Wi-Fi in this coach. When the engine is on and the coach is in motion, you will get a Wi-Fi signal. This is using T-Mobile. So anywhere that you would see a T-Mobile cell phone service is where you'll pick up our mobile hotspot. This is only while the engine's running. Once you turn the engine off, you'll need to use the Wi-Fi at the campgrounds. So this is nice if you are working still while you're traveling. You can still have some Wi-Fi. So it's going to go through each single one of these. We're pretty much almost done. And then when you're all finished, you will have all the local stuff. This is our last bit, and then we're going to go into the main menu. You'll select yes that you're done. If you need to retry, you can. But now we've picked up all our local channels, and I'm going to go to the menu button in the center. And it shows me, because this is a smart TV, if you have Wi-Fi at the campground or you want a mobily hotspot, you can connect and give this TV Wi-Fi, logging into any of your own accounts here, and then you can use these as well as the smart TV. Next, we're going to show you where the antenna off and on is, as well as resetting your dish antenna. So to the right of this TV up at the front, this gives a pull to the left. Brings us in here, more outlets and USBs. And then we've got this green light up at the top, and this is going to be for the TV, the digital antenna on the roof. So when I turn this off, I press the button in and the light goes away. This is for using the cable connections at the park. So if you were plugging a coax in outside, it's either one or the other. So you need to have either the coax coming in and my antenna off, or no coax and make sure that the digital antenna is on. If you're not getting any signal when you do the scan, go ahead and just turn this off, turn it back on, and cycle it. That happens too, just doing a soft reset. And then right here is the antenna for the DirecTV dish. It'll say WindGuard. And then you can flip it down, wait a few seconds, and then flip it back on, and that'll cycle the DirecTV dish. Next, we have our bunk room. There are 2 6-foot-long bunks, and they both do have a DVD player up top, and they have their own light inside here as well as cubbies. This room is perfect. It gives you a lot of privacy for them. They do have these little mesh. I'm going to try to lift one of them up. So there is a mesh underneath right here for the person that's on this top bunk. So let me see if I can pull it all the way out. We keep them tucked in here, so if when you pick it up, you don't see the mesh, this is how you know where it is. And this is good for locking these through these little loops here, okay? And when you go all the way across, it gives a little bit of safety for that child that's up at the top. And then you can store it away when you're not using it. We've got a ladder that goes right here for this top bunk. They have outlets as well, pretty much everywhere in this coach. Tons of outlet space in here for lots of plugs, and they have their own set of drawers. They have 2 really hard doors. So this is a door to block off the bunk room from the master bedroom, and then you've got this door to block them as well. So if you have sleeping kids and they're ready to go to bed nice and early, gives them some privacy from mom and dad. And these are solid wood doors, so they're not thin little doors. They are really heavy duty, which is nice. And they have a magnet. Make sure that magnet touches the wall. Okay, these both need to be stored in and touching the wall before this slide out can come in. We're going to bring you around into the bathroom. This is a very neat bathroom. This has entrance from 3 directions. So living room, master bedroom, and then from the bunk room. And you've got privacy that can block it off here, as well as in all the other directions. But it is nice for the kids if they're getting up in the middle of the night. They have this. While you're driving, you come in through the living room here, and you have an entrance to get to this bathroom even when everything is fully slid in. You've got your lights, tilting of the vent, and then you've got turning off and on the water pump for while you're in travel if you get up and need to use the restroom. We do provide RV toilet paper. Again, this is the only thing that can go into our toilets. And just below, we do have a trash can. To use this toilet, we're going to make sure our water pump is on first. And we're going to press and fill this bowl up with some water. These do not travel with any water in them. And it's important to put a little bit of water in the tank before you use it. Okay, so water's in this bowl here. To flush, just press and hold it for about 30 seconds. This is a vacuum flush toilet. This is a little different than your standard toilet. So I'm going to do it one more time. Press and hold. The more water in here, the better. I suggest doing it twice just to really make sure that you are totally getting everything into that black tank. Okay, so just like that. Press and hold until you pretty much don't hear that sound anymore. There is an outlet in here as well as a GFCI reset. And this is a beautiful glass door, right? This is really nice. So it has your shower, and then you've got a little latch right here. Please be sure that this safety latch is locked before you start traveling in the bus. We're going to go into the back bedroom here. This is a king size bed. There is a washer and dryer. So right here is our washer and dryer unit. This is a high efficiency only, so the soap that you need to use in here, we suggest that you use liquid and not pods. So bring some liquid with you. This is where it goes in. Okay, and it's a good size, 4 to 5 towels will go in this cycle. If you are using this, keep the gray valve in the open position so the water can drain out. In the back, you've got your dryer and you have the lint. So in the back right here, this does pop off, and that is where your lint catcher will be. So if you are on a longer trip, be sure to take that out and clean out the lint. The back, we've got the closet here. This is sliding glass doors, and then this has hanging space, as well as this is where the 2 ladders are going to be located and the cushion for the bed in the dinette. Above us here, this is just empty tons of empty storage. And then you have a generator start and stop button. Again, down at the side here, this is the 4th way to start and stop it. And then you've got some of your outlets here. You have controls on the other side. Lauren's going to kind of bring you over there. And that's a master turning off and on everything. So if you're ready to go to bed at night, and that's how you turn everything off and on. Last, we're going to go over this last wall here. So all of this is just some small, storage, and then you've got your TV. But the main thing that we're going to go over in this bedroom is in these cabinets. So you've got some more outlets here. You've got all the sheets and the towels. We provide everything that you'll need. All you need to bring is food and clothes. And this is where we're going to get to the important stuff. So this is where your breaker boxes are. Okay, so before calling us, if you have any questions, please check your breakers first. If it's not one of these, check the generator breaker, or usually the main culprit is the breaker at the campground. Make sure it's not half tripped. Make sure that you go outside and make sure you do a full reset on the breaker outside. Inside here is the breaker box, and they are nicely labeled with your air conditionings, your dryer, everything is here. So just resetting and doing a flip toggle, okay? These are some resettable breakers as well. These ones are push-in ones, and this is for some of the lights and smaller things like pumps and fans and things like that. You've got AC manual override, turning them on. You shouldn't be doing them from here, do them from the main panel. And then the very last is 2 more sets of GFCIs. So if you're not having any of your outlets work, please check here, as well as the breaker on the generator. That is where you'll notice that you won't be getting power as well. So GFCIs here and in the bathroom. This RV has tons of storage for long vacations. Just underneath the bed, all of this is empty space. We would suggest things like some luggage. Like once you've unpacked, you can throw the luggage under here, cases of water, some of that kind of stuff that you're not reaching for all the time, but you know you're going to need, put underneath here, or like shoes. So how you bring this in the down position, these are on struts, but there's a little locking strut here. So you lift up and push in on the red tab, and that'll release the pressure. That way you can slowly drop the bed back down and then have your king bed again. Lastly, we'd like to go over some of our favorite features about this coach. So I'm going to let Lauren tell you her favorite features on this coach first.
So my favorite feature are honestly the beds. The king bed in the back that lays flat while in travel is great for transporting people, as well as these 2 6-foot long bunk beds. Again, 6 foot, big adults can sleep there. And then you have your queen bed over the cab, and of course your dinette has a lot of great sleeping areas.
Yeah, this coach has a lot of space, a lot of individual private spaces for people, which is really nice for such a big RV, giving everybody a little room. My favorite feature about the coach is that there is no propane. One less thing to fill up before you bring back to us, and one less thing to worry about on your trip. This has heated floors. It has the electric fireplace as well as the heat pump. So the need for having propane is not there. This is great. It also has the 3 air conditionings up on the roof, keeping you nice and cool through those hot Texas summers. We enjoyed showing you this bus, and we can't wait to see you at pickup.